if Walmart and all these companies say, man, we took $1 billion hit this past week, black people didn't spend no money. Trust me, racist Johnny that's scared of black people is still gonna shoot the fuck out of some black, and they gonna be like, well, he's getting off, because they gonna have some return. Like, we need to get out there and become like officers and judges, and we need to aspire to be that type of shit. We gotta stop being like, oh, I seen females say, I would never let my son become a police officer. He wants to be a cop. I was like, why would you not want your son? Like, so you're taking another black person
don't get paid enough
out of it, and well, they
that
get
would
paid.
Be my reason.
They get paid enough. You can't tell your kid don't be a police officer, because then what happens? They end up working at some other job making the same amount of money and without the pension. Without the pension.
I mean, that's the same reason I tell my son, you ain't going to the military, because you're putting your life on.
You gotta be.
But that's just me referring to my kids. I get what you're saying.
We're taking, I mean, you talking about a life on the line, but you work your way up and then you become a detective and then you investigating this and you been, so you know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to do things, but you want to say, all right, well, just let all the white people go out there and put their life on the line. They're not. They're shooting us. They the ones with the guns. They shoot us and they get off, and then they go back to work in the month.
But they have to be able to work their way up to that, though. So
they have to start somewhere.
Now, there are black cops that exist. How many of them are standing up for what's going on?
Shit, it's
but
like
they don't want to do that, right?
20%.
Because you put your career at risk, right? So you have to build your way up and even have it enough for you to get higher in those levels. But shit, man, I don't know what you got to go through to get that far. What do you have to do that?
You can become a street level cop. You saying putting your life on the line. Okay, cool. But guess what? Somebody else will go put their life on the line and don't mind putting 5 bullets in your ass for a traffic stop. You saying put your life on the line? Shit, they the ones that's shooting. That's like saying, well, they don't have guns. No, police have guns. How often do we hear about police getting killed? Putting their life on the line? Shit, they're putting our life on the line. We civilians, you're letting everybody else get in there and saying, pull all the black people off the police force and let everybody else become. So now you have all the races, everybody else picked on in high school, everybody with these mental issues. And they just out here doing what the fuck they want to do. I just got pulled over and punched in the face.
They don't even patrol their own neighborhoods. They patrol our neighborhood.
Yeah, I just got pulled over by punched in the face. I'm like, what the fuck? And they was like, well, we seen that it came back as the license was suspended. I was like, you have my license. You know that the car is in somebody else's name. Like, why the fuck? Why would you even punch me? Like, hey, get out the car. All right, cool. You have my license. You know, you see my face. This is my license. And you ran the plate. You see it's somebody else's car, but it's not reported stolen. So when you ask me to get out the car and then your officer punched me, I'm sitting up here thinking like, what the fuck? And then when you get down in to first district, they're like, oh well, what you can do is you just file a grievance or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm thinking to myself like, they ain't gonna do shit. They don't give a fuck. I'm pretty sure whoever punched me in my fucking face is going out to golf with the motherfucker that I'm telling to. We need to get in there and say, listen, we need to be the police officers. We need to become the judges. We need to aspire to be these things, because these motherfuckers that has no problem. Oh, I'm gonna become a judge, and guess what? They've never been in the hood, so they don't understand shit. So they thinking like, oh yeah, he's black, he's probably guilty. And then when his white friend come in here, he'd be like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like, even everything. Shit, I seen it was a college kid was accused of rape. And the judge said, we don't want to give him jail time because it's going to mess up his future.
Yeah.
Nigga, you raped somebody.
Yeah, that just happened.
You raped somebody. You don't want it to mess up his future?
Yeah.
Her future's fucked up. She's going to live for the rest of her life with that mental of her being raped by that dude. He's like, we don't want to mess his, he could become a judge one day. We don't want to mess his shit up. I guarantee you, if my black ass had been there for rape, I'd have still been in prison. I'd have been waiting another 2 years to see a judge and see a trial, and then I probably got another 20 years for the fucking rape. They'd probably ran my fucking shit and been trying to put some other shit on my ass. We got to get in there. We got to be judges. We got to start aspiring to be more than just, you have to tell, rappers and things like, I'm going to be a boss. I'm going to be a boss. Stop listening to that nigga.
When the kid turn around, make a song, get 8 million views and get paid. He probably did want to be a cop. But he made one song, and it's not that, because I get you, because college football just started this weekend for the teams who do, who can't play back. So, and then I totally get you, but then you got on the other side of it, on the real life, you got single moms You know what I'm saying? Rushing their kid to football practice because they hope that one day when they get that league, they get into Alabama, they get outside of Alabama, they play for something, that money go away. How do we take that focus of that quick money, that fast money, that large amount to want to be these police officers that get that don't make as much? Like, how
because you know what? Because when you go to college and you play football, once you leave college, either you're gonna get drafted to the NFL or the NBA or whatever, or you're not. And at that point in time, you can say, well, I can still become a police officer. It's not like dudes is coming right out of high school become a police officer. Mm-hmm. Shit, go to college, play football, see where it takes you. If it takes you here and you become a billionaire, go for it. If it doesn't, and you have to get a regular job, say, you know what, I'm gonna patrol my own neighborhood. Because I know plenty of police officers right now. It's a white dude that is a police officer. He makes $80,000 a year. $80,000 a year as a police officer in East Cleveland. So we're saying, oh, it's not worth it for the money. I mean, shit. How many of us is putting our life on the line? Ford put their life on the line for fucking $70,000, $80,000 a year. They inhaling all that shit. Lincoln Electric inhaled. I worked at Lincoln Electric. I tell you inhaling some shit. Mm-hmm. It's one department where dude said he was making so much money, he didn't want to leave. He said, but he was inhaling so much shit and he was constantly sick all the time. I said, man, in 10 years you will have cancer. Because y'all don't know what the fuck it is you inhaling that's making you sick like that. My cousin, he had his neck broke out from Lincoln Electric, inhaling that shit, but they make good money. So there's other jobs out there where we put our life on the line. You may not get shot, but shit, you may get cancer from doing the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have jobs that stress us out. That shit ain't gonna kill you? Shit. Man, let's get our people out here and let's do other stuff. Because we have too many motherfuckers running around and they're not doing shit. Niggas is not doing shit. That's the problem. We're not doing nothing with our time. We could have been police officers. What are we doing instead? Sitting around, playing a video game, applying for some bullshit.
At like our age group where we inspired to be police officers, when you had songs like NWA saying fuck the police, that didn't make me want to go run out and be a police officer.
That made me want to be like Dre and them, go make music about more injustice.
It's like you have to have things in place in front of children that they see successful for them to want to do it. It's like, it's hard to explain, but I get what you're saying.
No, you make a dope point.
You're definitely right.
You just got to get the media to go back and portray more positive. I think that's the ultimate thing, because when you see a black person and you portray them, when they have a lot of money in the big houses and stuff, they either a musician, an athlete, or maybe some type of ex-kingpin that now put their money in real estate or something like that. I'm just saying, we need more, like the TV, like the show I watched, Watchmen, where the backstory was the guy actually wanted to be a police officer in a racist town to make a change and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have not anymore things where people are everyday black heroes anymore. Not the heroes that are portrayed.
Like doctors in
exactly, like
grocery stores. And
Eric
like
LaSalle. Listen, I want to be like Eric LaSalle. Not only he was Soul Glow, the nigga was a doctor on ER every Thursday. Like, that was the only, you know what I'm saying? But there's not like that. There's nothing like that anymore to portray it, to show our younger youth.
And that's a lack of ownership across the board, actually.
It is, because you know what? I'm gonna be honest. There are plenty of people out there, like, I remember when I worked at the city, I worked for the water department. I had just a regular red ass Dodge Magnum. It was 2005 when the shit just came out. And you know what I'm saying, all the kids ran up, they didn't know who the fuck I was, but all the little kids ran up that played football and they was, hey, what, they high-fiving and shit. Because, you know what I'm saying, I had a nice car, I had nice clothes, I dressed the way that they like to see me dressed. They need more people going out there just looking like somebody where they can be like, oh, I want to look like him. I can see him. I see him all the time in that nice ass car. I can see him all the time. He got the jewelry on. He got this on. He got that on. We only see that when we talking about somebody that's rapping or selling dope. And we don't realize, guess what? For every time we see somebody with that shit that's rapping, there's over 10,000 motherfuckers that didn't get that shit. Mm-hmm. Every time we see somebody that's out there selling dope, and you be like, man, that nigga got a knot like this.
You don't see the people that don't make it like that, though.
We see them all the time.
Your face is the ones that do, but you're not even looking at the people that don't make it. Like, they not even existing.
We see people that sell drugs that's very minimal all the time. And kids see it all the time. We see motherfuckers that's out here nickel and diming cocaine and crack all the time that ain't did shit. And they ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't got half the shit some of these people got. But again, once you get to a certain thing, you got to go back, man. You got to Make yourself present. You have to make sure kids see you. You got to make sure that the people in the neighborhood see you. If you got a nice car, man, go ahead, go to a football game sometime. You got if you got a Maserati, go to a football game, some little kids' football game. Go to their practice. Just show up. Them kids would love to see a fucking Maserati up close and personal. And your ass got one. You got a regular 9-to-5 job. And them kids gonna be like, well, what do you do that you can afford this? They gonna be like, shit, I want to do that. You a cop? I want to do that. Firefighter? I want to do that. How much do they make?
What was that? A Wolf of Wall Street. That's what he saw the dude with his car. I was like, yo, what do you do? Tell me how to do that. That's exactly how that all started. So
that's all you need.
Like I definitely agree with you.
You don't need to have everything on TV, but people gotta, once you become successful, you get these nice things. The only people that people try to impress when they get this nice shit is people if they go to bars and shit. That's you just trying to impress some hoes or some shit like that. You got a nice Benz, you don't go nowhere but to the bar and try to impress some hoes, trying to pull some hoes with your Benz, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, let these kids see you. Let these kids know that they can do something else besides rap and sell dope or some of this other shit. Fuck it. You know what? If it's sports, cool. Go out there at them football practices and then be like and encourage them kids on, because a lot of them kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like everything is a TV show. It's not perfect. So those kids go home and they getting yelled at and screamed at and abused and all type of crazy shit. We don't understand how some of these kids live for real, because like I said, I work with kids, and these kids came from the work. Like, you think that your life growing up may have been a little hard? No, sir. No, sir. I'm talking about, I had a little girl one time, and I'm not gonna get into her personal business all like that, but she was in a household where, you know what I'm saying, like somebody said something to her inappropriate. Mom kicked that person out and brought that person right back. And I'm like, and she still had to live. That's her. She's 15. She has to live there. And what do you do? Like, who do you talk to? Where do you go when it's shit like that? So yeah, you need to get out there and show people like everything's not fucked up. The world ain't fucked up, because those kids, they grow up to believe everything's fucked up. Mm-hmm. People will tell you real quick, every place in Cleveland is the ghetto. I'll be like, no, it's not. I can take you to some places real nice in Cleveland. You think it's fucked up because your neighborhood is fucked up. Everything around you is fucked up. All you see is...
Gotta get out and see the world.
Yeah, not even the world, just see other parts. People will tell you people tell me all the time, like, man, I wouldn't go to the west side, man. This, that, and the third. I'll be like, have you been to the west side? West 25th? That's it? You made your entire decision.
Pretty much downtown it was.
Yeah, like you made your entire decision based on you've crossed the bridge. If you ain't from Cleveland, you don't understand. But if you cross a bridge, you're on West 25th. Mm-hmm. They haven't gotten to nicer homes, quiet, this, that. They think it's the same as they shit. They think it's shootouts and drugs and junkies running up. It ain't like that. You get further off to the west side, hell, further to the east side. It ain't like that. But people don't know that. They know their world, and that's where they stick to.
Yeah, they
for
get
life.
Stuck in it. Shit. Yeah. A lot of times, even traveling, like you said, other side of the city, so many people that have never even left the city.
We gotta do better too, because even some of the parents can't really hold themselves, and that's why some of the kids out here can't get them. Because even I remember, because Halloween coming up, but I remember when I was younger, I never trick or treated in my neighborhood. Like, never trick or treated. Like, I had parents and aunts who knew how to act. We trick or treated other neighborhood and just blended in.
Well, yeah, we did. I did too. Cause
but I was able to see like bigger houses. I was able to see different things, to get inspired to want to do other stuff as well too. But if I didn't have somebody who knew how to act without always, still being loud or making ruckus, or you know what I'm saying, or just didn't know how to just shove off little maybe comments other people say, I would never see those things. And people need to be exposed to those things, because like you said, if you go out to maybe a suburb or something like that, it may not be a ball player or something. Maybe a lawyer live there, and that lawyer may be influenced that person. Like, hey, I don't have to necessarily be a ball player or something like that. I can be a lawyer and get maybe a good $300,000 house in this nice suburb, get a nice car. You know what I'm saying?
You be a dentist.
Exactly.
Ain't that what Chris Rock said? He was like, in my neighborhood, you won't believe. He's like, it's me. He's like, Mary J. Blige. I think he said Jay-Z got a house. He was like, and then there's a white couple. He was like, he's a dentist. A motherfucking dentist. And he had like $1 million or $2 million house on the same neighborhood as Chris Rock and Mary J. Blige. A fucking dentist. But we don't look at it like that. We're like, I ain't about to fucking no teeth. I wanted to be a dentist because I thought it was just like a doctor, except, you know what I'm saying, shorter time in school. You know what I'm saying? I still be a dentist, but I got a criminal record, so they ain't gonna let me work on no tricuspids. You know what I mean? Yeah, I studied. See, you didn't even know that. I studied teeth for a little bit.
That was a good
little bicuspid.
Had a little word
Yeah, a little bicuspid and shit. Yeah, they ain't gonna let me work on that shit though. Get that little felony and shit. That be acting funny and shit. It's all right. It's cool. I'm doing all right. I ain't traumatized or nothing. Thanks, America.